Hello everyone. In case you're watching this video for the first time, my name is Dennis Lam. I'm actually a realtor based in Singapore. So today what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share with you the correlation between the Avengers Infinity Stones as well as how it relates to real estate in Singapore, right? So I'm pretty sure most of you would have actually watched the Avengers. If you have not, then you actually have missed out on this very fantastic blockbuster. Okay. Anyway, let's go straight to the topic that we are going to discuss today. So today, the star of the video here is actually not me, but this, right? So this, of course, those of you who have watched the movie will know that this is actually the Infinity Gauntlet with the Infinity Stones here. So Thanos actually use it. The Incredible Hulk use it. Tony Stark use it. So how does that relate to real estate in Singapore? Okay, let me explain, right? So this will actually be the Soul Stone, right? Now, in the Avengers, Gamora and Black Widow, they actually sacrifice themselves in exchange for the Soul Stone. Now, in Singapore, you don't have to sacrifice your life, right? What you can do is that you can actually sacrifice or set aside some of your cash and or CPF plus leverage on a bank loan to own your first piece or subsequent piece of real estate in Singapore. So no sacrificing of lives, right? Okay. Now, next thing will be actually this will actually be the reality stone. Thanos used it to distort reality in the Avengers, right? Now, in Singapore, the reality is that land prices and together with inflation have actually gone up, right? You cannot compare prices of real estate in Singapore back 20 or 30 years ago, because just for example, my mom used to tell me that bowl noodles, for example, 40 years ago or 40 or 5 years ago, it used to cost about 50 cents per bowl. But now in Singapore, it costs $4 to $5 a bowl. So the fact is that land prices, together inflation of materials, land costs, building costs, material costs, everything is increased. So the reality is that prices will continue to increase. So make your move on real estate, own a piece of real estate if you haven't, right? So that's the reality, right? Next up will actually be the space stone. A lot of buyers in Singapore, they have said that units are getting smaller, condos and apartments, all the sizes are getting smaller, right? Now the thing is, the fact is that because have to know one thing, in 2013, Singapore government reduced this financial policy, the MAS policy. It's called TDSR, total debt servicing ratio. So what this does is that it limits the amount of money that people can borrow to actually buy a piece of real estate. So since everything is by per square feet in Singapore, the bigger you build a unit, multiplied by the per square feet, the prices of real estate might put it beyond the reach of a lot of Singaporeans. Remembering the fact that TDSR limits how much money you can actually borrow. So with the exception, of course, for real estate in the core central region of Singapore, developers, builders, they actually build a bit bigger. That I can cover next time in a separate video. So the fact is that space, you have to accept that the sizes of units it may be smaller, yes, but it's actually sufficient for most users, most buyers, most owners. All right. Now the next thing actually would be this will be the power stone. You have the power to actually decide whether you want to do asset progression, whether you want to restructure your assets, because asset progression basically means owning so-called subsequent pieces of real estate that can serve to be an asset in future. Some people actually restructure their assets because they have multiple properties. Somebody wish to right size their properties. So there could be a lot of different methods, methods to actually progress in some asset progression and asset structuring. But all these methods I can always share in a separate video next time. Just remember, you have the power to decide, right? Now, next one will be the so-called the time stone. The time stone in the Avengers, actually Doctor Strange used it to travel back and forth in time. Now we wish we could have luxury to do that, but we can't, right? So how the time stone relates to real estate is that when you are younger, you are actually able to leverage on a longer loan tenure. The best age actually so-called is between 25 to 30, 25 to 50, right? So the younger you are, the longer the loan tenure you can actually leverage on, and that results in a smaller monthly so-called mortgage if you're taking a bank loan, right? Now, so while time is on your side, right? Or it could be matters that you could actually be thinking, there's something that I can actually do for my children, right? Because they are young, I have multiple properties, so time, time is actually very important in terms of real estate in Singapore, right? Now, the last but not least is actually the milestone. Okay, the milestone itself is so-called you need to have the correct mindset. Now, in Singapore, we need to plan for retirement, right? The fact is that a piece of real estate in Singapore is actually one of the largest assets that people will spend on, right? So you also understand that if you do it the correct way, real estate can be used as a form of forced savings in Singapore, so that when it comes to retirement time, your assets can actually be used as a way to fund your retirement spending, right? That actually to cover that actually you have to go more into another separate video in future, but basically all the soul stone, the reality stone, the space stone, the power stone, the time stone, as well as the mind stone, all these whole different aspects of how they relate to real estate in Singapore. So with that, I hope you enjoy this video, this sharing that I just presented here. If you like what I shared and like my videos, please remember to subscribe below and also click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I share some more interesting aspects of video of about real estate in Singapore. And so without further ado, I have one very important task right now, and it is, since I have the Infinity Gauntlet in my hands, let's see whether I can actually snap the COVID-19 away, right? So let me try that. It's not working. I have to go and find Thanos to ask why. So meanwhile, till I see you in the next video. Cheers.